Our random test was not about making any daycare look bad. This is about whether they have procedures and if those procedures are followed. It only takes one flaw for things to turn tragic and kids' lives to be on the line. Daycare's a lifesaver for many parents, and moms and dads love and trust the places they drop off their kids. That was the case with Alexis Taylor and Derek Boyd when we met them outside the Building Blocks Child Development Center on Knight Arnold, where their 3-month-old son and 2-year-old daughter have been in daycare for a few months.
I'm very picky about people watching my children.
But would their trusting daycare allow a stranger who is not on the parents' approved list to pick up the children? They agreed to let WREG employee Lisa try. With an undercover camera in hand, Lisa goes to get the kids. The first layer of security, locked doors, requiring Lisa to be buzzed in.
Hello, hello, hello.
A worker opens the door for Lisa, then turns and walks away.
I need to pick up a...
Without showing any ID, Lisa is told what room the children are in.
Okay, just go get them? Wait a minute. Are you on the list?
Lisa identifies herself as a relative who is picking up the kids since their parents are running late.
What's your name, ma'am? Lisa.
A Building Blocks employee attempts to call the children's father and gets the families mixed up. But she never calls the parents, waiting outside to see if Lisa brings out their children.
No, they haven't called yet. They're supposed to call us to make sure it's okay.
Back inside, a daycare worker still hasn't seen Lisa's ID, but suddenly says, yes, she sees her name on the pickup list.
Okay, yes, ma'am, you can get them. You're on the pickup list. Okay.
She gets the kids for Lisa to take home. First, the 2-year-old.
Thank you.
Then going back in to get the 3-month-old in his car seat.
He's so cute.
Like that, Lisa is outside with the children.
She said, yeah, you're on the list. And then they said, we know you now, so you can come back and get them.
The parents speechless.
Yes, we gotta find another spot, because that ain't cool. She said she's on the list.
And she didn't want to call us. Like, that's not, they didn't do protocol.
An infant and a toddler turned over to someone the parents don't even know. This was a test, but it could have been very real. We confront the Building Blocks staff. We're from Channel 3. We just had somebody come in and pick up 2 kids. She did not know who the kids were. She was not on the list, and you all let them go. We're just trying to find out what happened. This is the mother here.
Can y'all people come out? No comments.
They tell us to leave.
No comment. Bye.
You just let those 2 kids, 2 months old and 2 years old, leave with this lady that's never seen them before.
Y'all, no comment, please. No comment.
Outside, stunned parents are commenting.
It's too much going on for them to be this careless, because if this would have happened for real.
Daycares are supposed to have rules in place. Most do, asking for ID, having a list of select people who can pick up the kids, and calling parents when someone shows up not on the list. But those rules have to be followed to be effective. In 2007, when WREG last did the same daycare test, we found flaws in the system back then. As parents watched, WREG workers, strangers, go in and come out with their kids hand in hand.
Acts like he's never seen it before.
Because he hasn't. But the worker lets Rachel take the kids anyway. Their father is speechless.
Never really looked at me twice. Never really looked at me twice.
So what do you think? I mean, this is...
I'm disappointed. I mean, just very disappointed. I would have expected something different. I wouldn't expect my kids to be able to be taken out of there.
We contacted the Department of Human Services, and we're told there are child care licensing rules that require children to be signed in and out of a center by a parent or other authorized person. Workers are supposed to verify the identity of any person to whom a child is released. DHS says it is reviewing what happened at the Building Blocks Center, a 3-star daycare that has not had any recent problems. Building Blocks wasn't the only daycare we tested. We spent days visiting several around the Mid-South. At this Bartlett daycare, our WREG worker was told she had to have an ID, and the kids' parents, one of them outside waiting for us, had to be called.
She said, well, I tell you what, we got to go by the book, so just call them first.
The owner of Building Blocks declined to go on camera, but tells WREG her daycare does have a protocol that is supposed to be followed. But this time there was a mix-up. The problem is it only takes one time, and an innocent child can be gone in seconds.
I'd be losing my mind if someone came up here and actually took my son. Innocent child could have been gone with a stranger. It's not cool. It's not cool at all.
We don't know what is going to happen differently at Building Blocks Daycare after this, but DHS says outside of its standard rules, security can vary from daycare to daycare. Their advice to parents: maintain clear communications with your child care provider, express concerns and expectations, and if you have questions, you can always contact the evaluator assigned to your child's daycare or DHS directly.